Hello and welcome. This is Anton from Andromeda Station. Today we're going to be doing a video walkthrough of our Orbital Reentry Craft asset that we're going to be putting up in the asset store soon. The reason we're doing this video is because the asset uses a substance material. And if you're not used to using a substance material, it might be a little bit different, and we wanted to put together this video to show how it works. So let's get started. First, we're going to open our demo space scene in the demo folder of our asset. And right away you can see the difference between working with the normal material. But what's happening here right now is that Substance is generating our textures for our material in the background. And if we wait just a little bit, it should come up. And there it is. So you might be asking yourself, what is the advantage of me using a substance material? And the advantage is that it allows you to create all kinds of customization right within the editor here without you having to go to something like Photoshop or GIMP to modify your textures. So let's get started on that. What we're going to do is we're going to open our substance folder and navigate to our EP exterior substance, and it will come up here in the inspector. And aside from the kind of normal bump specular shader that you're used to seeing in Unity, we're going to scroll down here and you can start seeing the procedural properties of our material. So let's start customizing our pod to make it something different. So we can change the color of the paints on the outside of the vehicle. And if you wait a little bit, it's going to say generating down here, and it'll alter. And you can see as soon as it's generated, you can actually start changing it rather quickly, and it'll update. Some of the parameters do that quickly, and some of them you kind of have to wait for. It kind of depends on the complexity. The color changes are pretty quick usually. So let's give this a different color. Maybe a different color for this material. Change the decals on the outside. You can see those little white spots and squares. Maybe we'll make those red or orange, or maybe red. So continuing on, we can change the color of the metal. We can modify the wear on the metal. So if we turn up this wear level, you'll see the as it's generating here after it finishes, you'll see the wear increase on there, and you can see it's a little bit more scratched up and worn. The grunge will actually increase the amount of noise in that wear. In addition to that, you can add or remove dirt from the shader. So let's just go crazy and turn this weight a little bit up, and you'll see how much dirt it will add. And the great thing about this is it's not just affecting the color, it's also affecting the material. If you move this around, you can see that the dirt is less shiny, and it makes the exterior paint less shiny. So if we bring this back down and wait, you can see now that the paint is back to being more shiny and clean. So let's bring back a little bit of that dirt. Let's go to about here, or maybe a little bit higher. And we'll take a look at the emissive colors. So what the emissive colors do is that they affect the color of the little lights all over the pod. And you can play with that, but it's pretty straightforward. I'll just change this blue one here. Maybe we'll make it a red color instead. And that's that. And so right now, the color scheme of our ship is much different than what we started with. And that's just one facet of the customization. So the next thing that we can do is we can actually change the graphics and logos on the outside of the pod. So what we will do then is I'm going to go into our textures folder here in the project window, and I'm going to navigate to the pod graphics folder, and we have some sample logos that we can place on here. So let's start dropping some of these in these image slots. So right now you can see Lunar Industries is the graphic that's on here. So let's change that out with this logo drop. And you can see as we drop this in here, it will update. And there we go. Now that's got a completely different graphic on it. In addition to that, this top flap 1 graphic corresponds to the graphic colors. So say we wanted to make this graphic actually a different color. We could go into here and modify this and maybe make it match up with our military looking paint job. And there we go. And then you can go through and start changing these out. Maybe we want to drop a different logo into this. So here's a star shape. And maybe we want to change that texture maybe to a white color. And really the possibilities are endless here. So you can bring in your own TIFF or PNG file, and the only stipulation is that it needs to have an alpha channel to tell it where to cut out the image. Oh, also one more thing. If you want to bring in a logo that has its own colors, or multiple colors I should say, this AS logo is one that does do that. So what you'll run into is when I drop this in, oh, what happened? It looks red and black here, but in here it's white. Well, what you have to do is go to the color, and we're going to crank the alpha down. And what that does is allows the color to show through. So there you go. So if you have a logo you wanted to apply that has multiple colors in it, that's what you would do. But what this still does have is a alpha channel. So if you look at these graphics, I'm going to pop this into the inspector over here. And what's happening now is, now that we're popping out of the substance material, it's now generating and finalizing the textures for our pod exterior. And you see we're popping back to that blue color. We wait a moment. Well, while that's working, I'll show you this. This is the AS logo that I had up before. So if I hit the toggle here, you can see this is the alpha channel for that texture. So you just want to make sure that when you create your own logos that they have an alpha channel. All right, moving along. I just want to show briefly our custom shaders that come with the asset. The main one that you're going to be using is the EP base. And if we look in our materials here, let's look at EP exterior, the EP exterior shader. And there are just a couple controls that you might be interested in modifying to change the look. So we have, aside from the different channels that are being fed in from this substance material, we have the Specular Multiply, which we can crank up the gloss and shine of the texture or crank down, which is nice if you have say, brighter lighting in your scene that's being reflected and you don't want it to be quite shiny, you can kind of tweak this against your lighting. And then the other little tweak slider we have here is the Emissive Multiply, which makes the all the emissive parts on the shader more or less emissive. So you can see as I crank this up and down, they're becoming brighter or less bright. One other shader that comes with the asset is the engine flame shader, and that's in our shaders, engine flame. And the material that we have applied here, it just uses a fractal noise that it pushes through the UV, and you actually can change the color of the flame. To really see what it looks like, you need to pop into the game view, and you can see here it's glowing here. And one thing that is helpful to modify is this Emissive Multiply, which makes it more or less emissive. And this is helpful when you're if you're using a post process, it will boost the bloom or the glow on your material. Same thing with the emissive material for the pod exterior. And also included in the asset, there is a fully modeled interior and seats for the interior, and they all use materials similar to the substance material on the pod exterior. Also, say you aren't interested in using substance materials at all, we have included baked textures from baked out from the substances. They sit in this folder, the 4K baked textures. They are all 4096 by 4096, nice and high resolution, and you can scale those up and down and modify them however you like and feed them into the shaders. So that about wraps that up. This is our first asset in the asset store, and we're really excited about it. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you'll get updates whenever we are putting out new assets. And like and favorite our video, and please leave any comments or suggestions in the comments. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.